Namaste, welcome yogis to today's practice. So we are going to be what I call playing with our feet. So we're going to do a little bit of reflexology on ourselves. If you're new to reflexology is an ancient modality that's based on the principle that there are reflex points, or also known as pressure points, on the feet that link up to every single aspect of your body. So every single body part, organ, system, everything has a mapping. In fact, we have over 72,000 nerve endings in our feet that can be stimulated through reflexology. And it's just using your hands. It's super cool. So there's 2 points that I want to focus on today, and those are the brain reflex point and the solar plexus reflex point. And the reason why I chose these two is because they are really powerful points that can be utilized for so many different things. But the number one benefit of stimulating these points, and honestly, like every single day, is a really good thing, and this doesn't take a whole lot of time, is really good for shifting you into the parasympathetic state, that rest and repair state. This is the place where we heal. Okay, this is the only place where we heal. So when we start to play with the solar plexus point, which is basically related to this area of our belly, where our second brain lives, and then of course we're stimulating the brain reflex point, which is obviously up here in your brain, these two are always communicating with each other. So when we start to stimulate these points, we're sending a signal to the brain, but also we're going through the central nervous system first. Because if you think about it, reflexology works with nerve endings, and every nerve in your body goes through your central nervous system, through your spine, and then branches out to the areas of the body. So this is why these 2 points are so important. I mean, they can be utilized for other things, like the brain point can be used for like mental clarity, focus, like when you're stressed out, if you've got headaches or migraines. But quite frankly, this point is good for anything, because whether we're in pain, we're inflamed, having digestive issues, not sleeping well, everything is processed by your brain. So that's why this point is so powerful. For the solar plexus point, this is really about calming this area. And, this is an area of the body where when we are stressed, we will feel it here, right? You'll feel that kind of like sinking, like pit in your stomach kind of feeling. And so once this energetically is off, it throws off the brain. So that's why these points are just so good. In terms of their location, they're actually really simple to find. If you have a hard time sitting and placing your foot up a little bit, then I'm going to recommend that you have a block to do this exercise. So you can place your foot, let's start with the right foot. So you're going to place your right foot onto the block, and I'm going to show you where both points are. So the main point that we're going to start with is always the brain reflex point, and that's located at the very top of your big toe, okay? And when you press in here, I want you to think of pressing fairly firmly, okay? You can use an index finger, 2 fingers, you can use your thumb, whatever works for you. But basically, you're going to press in there, and you have a couple of options. You can just press and hold, or you can press and start to make little circles. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're holding the point, whether it's a continuous hold or a circular movement, you're still stimulating the nerve ending, okay? And sometimes people will feel things right away. Like they'll feel like a sensation moving in through the body, up into the head. Sometimes people will feel it in a certain area of the body, especially if you have an area of your body that is out of balance, or say you have pain somewhere. Sometimes you'll feel it in that area of your body first, and then in the brain. Sometimes you don't feel anything at all, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening here. It just means that you don't feel anything. But I can assure you, as long as you're stimulating the point, Something's happening. The energy is moving. The blood is moving through the nerve into that area of the body, helping to improve the function of that related area. So that is why this is so cool. So in terms of how long would you stimulate this point? About 1 to 2 minutes, which we're already past that. Now you can go up to 5 minutes as long as your hands don't get sore. And then of course, what you do on one foot, you must repeat on the other. So we'll go to the left foot and then you'll go to the very top of your big toe and you're going to press down in there. And again, I like to do the circles. That's just my jam, but you know what? You can just press and hold. Now, if you find that you have a hard time doing this with your fingers because your fingers get sore, you could use the tip of the pencil, the eraser end of it, not the pointy end that you write with, but the little eraser part. You can press and use that. If you have a small wooden dowel that has a round circular edge to it, you can use that. And you can just hold on to it and press. So either one of those options would work just as well. And I'll tell you, once you know where these 2 points are, you won't need to refer to this video, but you can always come back to it at any point. This point is just really powerful for anything and everything. Okay, so now we're going to go to the solar plexus point. So we're going to go back to the right foot, and I'm going to show you where that is. Okay. So if I bring my foot up and I go to where the arch and the ball of the foot meet, right in the center there, that point right there, this is the solar plexus point. It's also known as the kidney 1 point. So again, you could put your foot up onto a block if you want to. If you've got the mobility to put your foot onto your thigh, you can certainly do that as well. I personally like to use my thumb on this point, but again, you could use fingers, a dowel, an eraser tip, whatever works for you. And again, you can press and hold, or you can make little circles, either one. Now, if you're really flexible and mobile in your body, you could do these points on both feet at the same time, and I'll show you that afterwards. So you kind of just come into somewhat of like a butterfly yin shape with your legs, and then you would stimulate it. But there's nothing wrong with doing 1 point at a time. And basically what you're going to be doing is pressing in, working on the point for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then you're going to switch, do the other foot, because this is how we have balance, right? So the right side reflex points relate to the right side of your body, and the left reflex points relate to the left side of your body, okay? So that's why you got to do both. Unless you have specific points where there is no area on the other side. Like for example, your liver is only on the right side. So there's only a point there on the right foot for that. And then of course your spleen and your pancreas are over on the left. So there's no point on the right. Okay. Okay. So those are basically the points. Now, if you wanted to do them at the same time, again, your feet could be up on a block, or again, if you're a little bit more mobile, you're just going to bring your feet into kind of like a butterfly shape, but have some separation. And then as long as it feels comfortable to lean in a little forward, you're going to press into both brain reflex points located on the top of your big toes. Press in there. And again, either hold or make circles. And then the same thing when you want to work with the solar plexus point. You can just kind of place your thumbs in there and press and hold or make circles. I personally, when I take butterfly pose, I love stimulating these 2 points. There is just something about it. It just feels so, so good. So that's basically what your challenge is for today, is to stimulate these points, okay? Now, whether you want to do it 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, doesn't really matter. I wouldn't do it more than 3 times. That's about the maximum there, but they're great points to do on the daily. So just something that you can incorporate into your daily self-care routine. All right. So thanks for joining me in this video, and I will see you in the next practice. Namaste.